create loose lead walking is to use a lead with what we call 2 points of contact. So it has 2 ends on it, and one attaches to the front of the harness and one to the back. This way you can either use one hand or 2 hands when you're walking. If you're using 2 hands, have your palms facing upwards as if you were holding the reins of a horse. It's going to be much easier for you to control your dog that way than if your palms are facing down and you're trying to pull back with your wrists. The first thing you might need to do is to mark and reward your dog for just standing still. Have a look at the Your Front Door video for this. Good. Charlie. There are several things to consider when walking. The first is the pace you are walking at. You want to walk at a pace that means your dog is walking and not trotting, which means you may have to slow down. The hand nearest the dog is the one that's going to feed the dog, which means you need to have your lead, if you're using one hand, in the opposite hand, so your lead goes across the front of your legs. This is always going to be the rule until your dog's able to walk nicely on a loose lead without needing food rewards. To start off with, make sure your dog is looking up at you and engaged with you before you even start to move your feet. I mark for walking nicely after only a few steps. Stop and deliver the food. I wait until he's looking up at me before I start to move again. Really slow this process down and it will help with your walking. To try and keep the tension off the lead, make sure you bring both hands into your belly and keep your arms nice and relaxed. Taking the tension out of your arms will help your dog to be able to walk looser. Practice this in areas of minimal distractions for very short periods only, 2 to 3 minutes maximum. Build up the time and the distraction level as your dog gets more reliable. The most important thing is to make sure your dog is watching you before you start to move your feet.